How old do you think that Waterford is? Well, we all know that Waterford is the oldest city in Ireland, founded 914 by the Vikings, even though the Vikings were here perhaps 50 years even before that. And how do we know they were here 50 years before? Well, because when they were making the new road, they found a site which is known as Woodstown. It appeared in no place in the ancient annals of Ireland. No place. We don't know the name of it, but it was there, and it was Viking because they found a Viking burial there. However, but in general, how old do you think Waterford is? Well, perhaps if I put a timeline on it, it might help. 2,000 years ago, Jesus was born. Well, I'm standing here in Creadan Head, the beautiful Creadan Head, down by Dunmore East and Woodstown. There was people here 2,000 years ago. The pyramids were built 4,000 years ago. There was people here in Creadan. 5,000 years ago, Stonehenge was built. There was people here in Creadan. We know, how do we know it? Well, we know it because of archaeology, and essentially through the efforts of a local man, Noel MacDonagh, an amateur archaeologist who spent over 40 years collecting the evidence, the flints, the small stones, microlites they're called, and flint, that these ancient people and early man skinned the animals, they made arrowheads for the bows, and it all happened here right over my shoulder. Now, you're not going to find gold here, you're not going to find silver. That wasn't important to the people 12,000 years ago. What was important was a sharp stone or a big lump of stone that you could hammer something, and a small little bit of flint you could make an arrowhead that you could shoot an animal with. That was their gold, that was their important. So we know that we're here because of the archaeology 12,000 years ago. But Noel MacDonagh contended that he believed that we're here before that. And what did make him say that? Well, what made him say that is the fact that there was humans in England almost 1 million years ago. 850,000 years ago there was humans in England. There was Neanderthals there 50,000 years ago. 20,000 years ago there was still evidence of Neanderthals in England. Now, there's an old saying in archaeology, and that is that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Nobody, until Noel MacDonagh came along, I stand to be corrected here. In the 1980s and 1984, there was a group of archaeologists, American archaeologists, who surveyed, not here on the Strand, but on the adjoining fields and on the beach. They found some of the earliest evidence of farming in Ireland. A place over there called Fortnat, just at the end of Creadan Strand here. They also found flint along there, and it was absolutely amazing that they found that. So that now, before that, people believed that the earliest evidence of man was up in Mount Sandal, up in the north of Ireland. And why do people think that? Because people looked up there. They never looked down here in Waterford. They never looked behind me in Creadan Head until Noel MacDonagh came along and discovered all this stuff. Now, it is some surveys you will look at suggest that there was a land bridge between here, Waterford and Wexford, the southeast coast and England and onto the continent. Perhaps 15, 20,000 years ago. It was all connected at one stage, and that's how animals and probably man came along. There's 1 million theories and 1 million professors out there who differ, and that's the problem. We don't know. There was no one around to tell us. But anyway, here you go. Creadan Head, an absolute gem. Noel MacDonagh found a Follock Fia out there on the beach. It was probably the best preserved Follock Fia ever found in Ireland. A few of us found another Follock Fia just here where the stream enters. And yet another Follock Fia was found just a little bit down the beach. You say, but sure, wasn't that all that swept away? Amazingly, no. For some reason, all the evidence is lying almost on top of the beach. Almost on top of the beach. So, as I said, if you want to come down here and look for silver, forget it. You won't. But if you know what you're looking for, you can find the most beautiful evidence of early man in Waterford here, in Creadan Head. Perhaps, and I say only perhaps, this is where early humans, or perhaps Neanderthals, or the Paleolithic before 12,000 years ago, first came into Ireland. And you're looking at it here over my shoulder, Creadan Head. I hope you enjoyed the little roundup of Waterford. We have so much to be proud of in this county of Waterford here. So much to be proud of, from the Vikings, from the ancient Irish, and from early man. Regarding the Dacia, I talk about them lads in a future episode. Until then, slán go fóill.